Friday night, here are your plans. You're going to stay in and tune in to ESPN and watch the Pacers against the Knicks. That's at 7:30. And then after that, you will watch the Lakers go up against the Utah Jazz. Saturday, January 19th, ABC. NBA goes to ABC. The first game is the Thunder taking on the 76ers. And then after that, a big primetime matchup between LeBron James and the Beard and the Rockets. That's all at 8:30. And every morning at 8 a.m., you can watch Get Up with the Get Up crew. Tomorrow they'll be talking about Nick Foles and the Colts and previewing the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. And athletes, they just can't help themselves on social media. Sometimes they just do something that is socially awkward. Amazon's Jeff Bezos is worth $137 billion. That's an estimation. Here's the thing. Jeff Bezos is about to go through a divorce. And that means that his wife, Mackenzie, is going to inherit billions of dollars herself. This information was not lost on the Rams starting running back, Todd Gurley, who took to Twitter and said, "Who got Mackenzie Bezos' IG or Twitter?" Jalen Rose, one thing I know that really bothers you is when people acknowledge or hit on someone else's wife, but they are going through a divorce. Are you okay with Todd Gurley shooting his shot at Mackenzie Bezos?
I'm not going to take this serious or literal because it is 2019. And therefore, if he really wanted her information, he could have actually just Googled it. So first and foremost, I'll put it there. Second, he makes his own bread. So hopefully he's not thirst trapped after somebody else's money. And so I won't take this to the point of where I think he crossed the line, because I think he was just being socially awkward and it wasn't necessarily funny.
It was kind of funny. I laughed at it. Moving on. Last night, the Celtics played the Pacers. The Pacers have, I believe it's the third best defensive rating in the NBA. And the Celtics ran right through them. They scored 135 points on that Pacer team. This is their fifth game in a row with over 30 assists. They're climbing the Eastern Conference standings, Jalen Rose. Have the Celtics finally figured it out?
I think they have. And the dynamics of their team, so when you talk about them, of course, they're led by Kyrie and Tatum. But I like to look deeper in the box score. And when I see Morris and Jaylen Brown and Hayward all playing well, Rozier contributing and being efficient, that's what allows them to function on all cylinders. But they're rocking their anchor, in particular when playoff time comes, and if they're going to meet their goals, has to be Al Horford playing at an all-star type level. So that's the player I'm going to be watching to see if they're going to be able to overcome the gauntlet in the Eastern Conference.
Jalen Rose, it's time for you, as you so often do, to take us behind the curtain. Shout out to Bleacher Report and Rick Bucher. Rick Bucher wrote a pretty interesting article about the politics of kicks in the National Basketball Association. We all know that superstar athletes, especially basketball players, have signature sneakers, and they're some of the best performing sneakers that you can wear on the court. However, teams like the Cavs refuse to wear Steph Curry sneakers. On the Warriors, you're not allowed to wear James Harden sneakers or other signature kicks. You played in the NBA against a gentleman by the name of Air Jeffrey Jordan and other superstars. Is this really a thing? Would you never wear the signature sneaker of another player?
Be more of a thing than it is now, because there's so many signature kicks, and a lot of people in theory have to be affiliated with the same brand. But I will say this, that's generational. Usually that is passed down by who the top players are in the league. So when I was in the game and the best player was Michael Jordan or Akeem the Dream, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, those players weren't doing things like that. So therefore, the rest of the league followed suit. Once this became the LeBron James era, I always talk about he did three things to his opponent: dominate, disable, or dismantle. Because he doesn't have any rivals, but yet he finds ways to be affiliated with all of the players in the league. Whether he's friends with them, whether he's doing projects with them, whether he's tweeting at them, whether they're doing stuff on Uninterrupted. So basically, it's the exact same thing, whether they're wearing his kicks or not.
Jalen Rose, I'm glad you brought that up because you remember when Klay Thompson had something like 42, 43 points. He only took 4 dribbles. It was an amazing performance, and the stats were great. Well, we weren't the only ones that noticed. A gentleman by the name of, LeBron James, he took to Instagram and put this on his story. This is dope. Klay Thompson last night, 43 points, 18 for 29, 7 threes, only took 4 dribbles. Look at, he's taking his time, putting that together, writing captions all over it, writing flamethrower on it, and he's doing that with someone he played against in the finals for 4 years in a row. This is not 1985 anymore, Jalen Rose. What is LeBron James doing? He never does things like this by accident. He knows what he's doing.
He's doing one of the 3 categories I just discussed. He's disabling Klay Thompson because he's dropping a wall of competitive spirit and showing support and friendship, while he's also trying to dismantle the Golden State Warriors because we all know that Klay's going to be a free agent this offseason. Now, has LeBron ever did that for any player?
Yes.
At any
he does
time?
this. He does this now.
An entire page, an entire caption for their stats?
He does this kind of thing all the time now. LeBron is so positive. He just loves complimenting his peers. You know, he just loves complimenting his peers. I'm sure none of this has to do with the fact that he may one day play with Klay Thompson, or he may one day play with these other superstars, or he may work out with them, or they may go on to his Interrupted, or they may wear his sneakers, or he may have business with them in the future. I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. I'm sure he's just paying a genuine compliment. That's what he's doing, right, Jalen? He's not tampering or doing anything like that, right?
He wouldn't do such a thing. Like when LeBron James goes to collegiate games and things like that, it ain't because he hopes that they may end up wearing his shoes.
He loves basketball. He's
indirectly sign to Rich Paul as an agent. He wouldn't do such a thing.
Never happened. Yeah, I mean, come on. I think that Anthony Davis just independently felt like Rich Paul was the best representative for him. That's just how it works. We know how it works. Coming up next on Jalen Jacoby, Jalen Rose hates when strangers take pictures of him without his permission. Apparently, Nick Young does too. We'll tell you the story right after this.
Jalen and Jacoby is brought to you by ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Live from the South Street Seaport on Pier 17 and brought to you by Heineken. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, you and I disagreed about the future of Kyler Murray, who was drafted to Major League Baseball, specifically the Oakland A's, and was the Heisman Trophy winner playing quarterback for Oklahoma. I thought he should go to the NFL. You thought he should go to Major League Baseball. He was expected to not make himself eligible for the draft, but that has now changed. Now he's going to make himself eligible for the draft, and the A's are likely going to allow him to go to the Combine. Jalen, with Kyler Murray's options being both Major League Baseball and the National Football League, do you still feel that the Heisman Trophy winner, who could get picked in the first round, should go play Major League Baseball?
I think he should keep his options open. Unlike previous Heisman Trophy winner Charlie Ward, who chose to play in the NBA, and/or unlike Deion Sanders and/or Bo Jackson, this young man has a chance to be like a game-changing athlete. We don't see too many players that have the ability to actually do both. And when you think of like Prime and Bo, they go down as historic athletes not because only their terrific productivity, but the fact they were the best of both worlds in different areas of the profession. That's almost impossible to do in a lot of landscapes. Like we talk about a guy like Patrick Mahomes who played baseball previously and he has great arm talent and can throw from different angles. But it's another thing for a guy to actually be drafted by the Oakland A's, get paid $4 to $6 million, win the Heisman Trophy, and enter the NFL draft, and is projected to be a first-round pick. So while we were watching the national championship game, and we were enamored with Tua and Trevor Lawrence, and rightfully so, terrific players, this is the guy that actually took away the biggest award in the sport. So I'm not mad at him at all for keeping his options open.
So, Jalen, you and I are of an age where we remember Bo Jackson. We remember Prime. Is it possible that we get another one? Will Kyler Murray play both sports? Please say
no.
yes. Please say yes. Please
no.
say yes. Please say yes. I knew that wasn't going to be the case.
No.
So
no.
Cliff Kingsbury is the brand new head coach of the Cardinals. And, you know, he's just getting used to the job. He's just showing up. He's meeting people. And he already has himself in a bit of a controversy. On October 18th, when he was still at Texas Tech of 2018, remember, he's still the head coach of Texas Tech at the time, he said if he had the number one pick in the draft, he would draft none other than Kyler Murray. Well, guess what? He's no longer the head coach of Texas Tech. Now he's the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, and the Arizona Cardinals have the number one pick in the draft. Is there any chance that he picks Kyler Murray?
Now that he's the head coach of an NFL team, I'm pretty sure that he understands the Buckeyes, the team in Ohio, have a really stout quarterback that could go number one overall and is considered a better prospect than the one that he talked about. So I see him backpedaling on that conversation. But here's one of the things I want to point out. And I'm not mad at Kingsbury for getting the interest that he got. He had a losing record at Texas Tech. Ultimately, he got fired. Got hired at USC to be a coordinator. And before he got a chance to participate in one live action football game, he got hired to be an NFL coach. So it's going to be a lot of eyeballs on that hire and that productivity, number one. But number two, are people treating him like he's Lincoln Riley or something? And the reason why I use him as an example is you probably will never see a coach have two different quarterbacks win the Heisman Trophy in back-to-back seasons like he was able to achieve.
It's crazy. And if you're Josh Rosen, you have to be wondering what exactly Cliff Kingsbury's intentions are, especially given the fact that he said that back in October. But something tells me that with that number one pick, he will not pick a quarterback. But if I had the choice, I would pick Haskins. Jalen Rose, whenever we talk about Anthony Davis, or anybody talks about Anthony Davis, it's not about what he's doing with the Pelicans. It's about what he might do with the Lakers. And if the Celtics can put together a trade package that the Pelicans can't refuse. That's the discussion around it. But one thing that's been missing in all this discussion is just how uniquely skilled and well he has been playing this season. I just want to show you two plays that boggled my mind. There's this one. Between the legs last night, finished with the left. Look at that, with the left. This dude is over 7 feet tall. And then the sham god. He just dropped a sham. Look at this. A sham god. Jalen Rose. Is he sort of like with Giannis, the prototype for the future of the NBA? Like these 7-footers that can do things with guard skills.
I put him just a hair ahead of the Greek Freak because his ability to shoot from the perimeter.
Good point.
And so with that being said, you notice the areas of the floor that he likes to operate on is old school. Right from the elbow. They get him the basketball, and in the first clip, you playing against the Cavs, you just want to try some stuff. That was something that he was working on in practice. Like, I'm going to just try this and see if it works. And he got to the basket, jumped off the wrong foot, shot it with his left hand, like, all right, cool. The sham god move, that's something he's been working on for a long time. And he finally got a chance to unveil it. So he is uniquely skilled.
Jalen, you and I hang out a lot, right? And you're very noticeable. You're a gigantic celebrity, and people stop you all the time, and people take pictures of you all the time, and you're so gracious. You take pictures of everyone that asks. But one thing I know you don't like, one thing I know you really don't like, is when people take pictures of you without asking you. They just kind of like paparazzi snap you. You always notice when they do it, and how do you handle it when it happens?
I just don't like the fact that somebody would treat you like a zoo animal. I love Oprah Winfrey, but if I see her at a restaurant, I'm not going to go up and start snapping pictures of the side or the back of her head. I'm just not going to do that. To me, that's just rude. So when people behave in that manner, it does tick me off somewhat, and I would rather it not take place.
And you usually sort of like, you don't confront them, but you will acknowledge them verbally. You don't just allow it to happen. You'll say something to them, call them out a little bit, but not in a mean way. I've seen you do it many times. Well, Nick Young was at a car wash. Nick Young is a very recognizable person as well, especially in Los Angeles, his hometown. And he's just getting his car wash, hanging out. And someone snapped a picture of him in the same way. However, instead of verbally acknowledging it and, just releasing the tension that way, the way Jalen Rose handles it, Nick Young allegedly, I do not know what happened, but TMZ has reported that Nick Young is being accused of punching this person in the nether region and then stealing their camera. Jalen, I know you would never do that, but could you understand someone else doing that?
I'm not going to condone violence, so I'm not going to say I understand that he took that step, but this should be a fork in the road that we should be able to create a union between people that recognize public figures or celebrities and want to acknowledge them and or give them love. All you got to do, get some eye contact, give them a head nod, use your voice. Usually people are gracious enough based on the way you're approaching them to give you a solid answer. And so if the person is not in the mood to take a picture or not in the mood to acknowledge you or in a rush, we have to find ways not to take that personal. But then if they do that, then you snap the picture of the side of their head. No, I'm just joking.
It's so hard to be a rich and famous celebrity, Jalen. It's just so hard for you. You know, us regular Joes just feel so bad for the life that you lead. You know, with those people always wanting to talk to you and all that money, you don't know where to spend it. It's just got to be so hard, man. I understand your plight, man. I know you well. It's so difficult to be Jalen Rose. Anything that we can do as to the general population to make life easier for you, then I'm totally happy to do it. Coming up next on Jalen and Jacoby, Sean Payton is motivating the Saints in a very unique way, and I'm here for it. We'll break it down after this. Marshawn Lynch, I know you saw this, was being videotaped by a stranger on their phone. They had a little bit of words, and then Marshawn Lynch smacked the phone out of his hands. Soft move or boss move?
Boss move. Let me tell you what the soft move is here. Videotaping someone without their permission.
I knew you were going to go there.
You're not a zoo animal. If you want to go take a picture of Marshawn or videotape him, just ask him. And if he says no, then you videotape him.
Work package.
Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. There is a huge slate of divisional round playoff games this weekend in the NFL, and we will break them all down for you tomorrow. But right now, we have some interesting news of exactly how the head coach of the Saints, Sean Payton, is motivating his players. What he did is he brought the Lombardi Trophy into the locker room, but not just the Lombardi Trophy. He also brought in about $225,000 in American currency. No Harriet Tubmans, though, I'm pretty sure. However, why he did this is because if the Saints were to win the Super Bowl, that is the approximate bonus that each and every individual player would receive. So he showed the trophy. He showed the cash to these players. And he said, if you guys want this, win 3 football games. Jalen Rose, I absolutely love this story, but you were in the NBA locker rooms. You were a professional basketball player. Would this work? Would this motivate millionaires to win football games?
Absolutely. I talk about this all of the time, and he did the similar tactic when they won the Super Bowl previously. Here's the thing. The biggest motivator to anyone that is indulging in cash transactions is finance. Not necessarily a credit card, not necessarily a wire, not necessarily a check. When you bring some cash and you put it on the table and it's a whole lot of Benjamins, I'm telling you, that just does something. It's like eucalyptus. It's like vaporizer to the body. It just does like Halls. It just does something to you to make you feel a lot soothing.
I kind of miss the days in which I would take my check when we got physical checks and take it to the check cashing place and they would just count out the money in front of me. Everyone does direct deposit now. I kind of want just one week a year. I want Disney just to hand me duffel bags of ones so I can just walk out of the office with just big duffel bags and then come home and be like, here you go, family, look what I did. However, I probably would spend half of it before I made it home, let's be honest. Jalen Rose.
Yeah, you got a lot of ones for some reason.
Let's move on, please. Jalen Rose, the Columbus Blue Jackets are a hockey franchise, and Artemi Panarin is their leading scorer. However, they're concerned about retaining Panarin. So what did they do? Nothing. But a local distillery, let me get it right, the High Bank Distillery, has offered Panarin a lifetime supply of vodka if he re-signs with the Blue Jackets. I think this is a good tactic to retain him, but I also see some problems with it. Do you think it is a good thing that the High Bank Distillery has offered him a lifetime supply of vodka?
I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's a great thing. I think it's a wonderful thing. I think it's a fantastic thing. I think it's a terrific thing. Think about how many situations take place 24/7, 365. Their birthdays, their holidays, their celebrations, their happy hours. If you had unlimited supply of vodka, that probably could save you $250,000 a year if you don't realize it.
Okay, see, I like the way you're thinking. That makes sense. But, like, let me tell you my train of thought. Let's say he does resign with the team, and then all of a sudden, he's got a house full of vodka bottles. His production might go down. Like, let's be honest. If you gave me a lifetime supply of vodka, my production would go down on this program. You know, like maybe we should give him something else. Give him some protein shakes. Give him something that would help his production, some coffee, something like that. Like, I don't know if a lifetime supply of vodka is how you want your leading scorer to operate. Just saying. I'm just saying.
We disagree.
Jalen?
He has the money to buy it and overindulge if he chose to anyway. If he's not doing it anyway, he wouldn't do it when he got an unlimited supply. He'd just take care of his family and friends.
We'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget, subscribe to the Jalen Jacoby